November 23rd of 2022, we signed off under the banner of the RIL for what we didn't know would be the last time as we crowned a champion in Indianapolis. Now, some 8 months later, the favorite son of Turn 200, the series that gave this channel life, is soaring back to prominence as we welcome you back in for the long-awaited return of the Daredevil Series. Tonight's challenge for the Daredevils may be a familiar one to some. 60 laps around the tricky triangle, where history shows us anything can and will happen in the next hour here at Legacy Pocono. It's the same series you know and love, but now under new ownership as we welcome you back with the Booth Boys back on their bull. It's me, Tommy Cook, and it is the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, partner. There's so much to dive in here to tonight, in and out of the race itself, but I would be remiss if I didn't start off tonight's proceedings by sending you a hello and a very hearty welcome back.
Such an incredible welcome back. I mean, this is a series at one point we weren't sure we would ever get to broadcast again, but here we are, like you said, 8 months later, and we finally get to bring back Daredevil competition to the people, the lovely folks that tune in to Turn 200. I cannot tell you how excited I am.
Pinch yourself, partner. Pinch yourself. We're back, baby. Some things have changed, but some things will stay the same. One of the biggest differences you're going to find, though, is the schedule itself. And seeing as, you know, we rely on you coming week in and week out, let's go ahead and take a look at this bad boy. Crack it open. Walk us through what we're looking at here, Matt.
The original concept for the RIL Daredevil series was for there to be a rotation of tracks accurate to the scheduling of USAC and CART in the late 70s. So it sort of limited the amount of tracks in series we would be able to visit. Now, we both agreed that we were going to lift that restriction and throw in some tracks that we think would put on some spectacular racing. The schedule has expanded from 9 to 10 races up to 12 with 8 ovals and 4 road courses. 4 ovals are returning, with Rockingham, Michigan, and Auto Club all making their way back this season, and the new ones, technically Atlanta, since we're running the 2022 version, plus our first trips to Twin Ring Motegi, Chicagoland, and Iowa. And the road courses. Oh boy. Week 2, some balls to the wall action at Lime Rock Park to really put these drivers through their paces straight away. That is one that I'm personally most looking forward to. And high speed is the name of the game the rest of the way, as maybe the most traditional race on the whole calendar is Suzuka. After that, though, Daytona Road Course, and finally, yep, that's right, Monza combined. I can't believe it. These drivers can get up to 200 miles per hour and more at the end of the straightaways without a draft. It is going to be absolutely nuts here in the all-new Daredevil series.
Now, just to clear a few things up, we have the blessing of Revolution Indy Land now and Christopher Kresge to continue on with the series and its canon. So we are folding in all the old stats and figures and quite a few of the past drivers as well. But, you know, it's been nearly 8 months since the last Daredevil race. We've made some new friends since then who are up to the challenge as well. We can't wait to see everybody mixing it up here in just a few minutes. But let's talk about the only track that we did not mention on the points-paying schedule, Pocono. It's the challenge before these drivers here tonight, and it's a familiar one. It will become the only track to be featured on all 3 seasons of the Daredevil series. But what have our previous 2 Pocono races taught us about what to expect here tonight?
Well, the first thing these first 2 races taught us are to expect some absolutely bang-up racing. These drivers have always cut it up here in a semi-pack racing fashion all the way through the field, and we should not expect anything different here tonight. what we can also expect here tonight that will dictate a lot of other things as the race rolls along is tire temperature. Not necessarily tire wear, but the right rear tire after about 15 laps will start to get pretty hot. And the back end of the car will want to come around very easily, especially into turn number 1, where we have seen over the last 2 seasons quite a few big crashes here in both of those races. Drivers need to expect cautions here tonight and make damn sure that they aren't the ones in them, because the more drivers that can drop the gloves and get after it in the closing stage of this race, the better the show it will be for you to watch at home.
Here's some of the stats and figures about past action that we've seen here at Pocono in the Daredevil Series. One new feature here tonight and going forward is that the time limit of old is no more. The old Daredevil races were always run under the threat of hitting the 55-minute time limit, partially not to inflate the cost of the session. It was right at the point where it's going to get a little bit more expensive if you even give it 5 more minutes. But also to make sure that the drivers can run in the now unfortunately defunct Thunderdome series immediately afterwards. The time limit now, hopefully at least, is off the table as we've added another hour to it. If we hit the time limit, we've really got some things going wrong here. But we expect to see the checkered flag at least drop at the scheduled distance this season. But now there is a chance for the very first time to have a single green-white checkered finish. So if we wad them up late, like we often do here in the Daredevil series, these drivers will get another shot to do it and do it right. And speaking of doing it right, it would be wrong to do a season of the Daredevil series without bringing back a favorite of the drivers. That is the Jacksonville Speedway Zero-Zero Challenge. But now, with a twist, for every driver that finishes on the lead lap with 0 incident points, hence the 0-0, they will now add $2 to the overall pot. Not just one, $2. At the end of the season, every driver who contributed to the pot will have 3 opportunities to win. One driver is going to take away 50% of the total fund. The other 50% rather will be split again. There is a chance that a driver finishes 3 races with 0 incident points and 0 laps down, and they will take away 100% of a now doubled plot. The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for the drivers who like to wreck and finish off the lead lap. Absolute insanity from the Mad Lads at Jacksonville Speedway. Be sure to check out their race this week on DIRTVIsion. They've got some 410 sprint cars and more in action if you're a subscriber to DIRTVIsion. That is all we got for the pre-race window here. We are just moments away from getting cars back on the freaking track for qualifying. The Daredevil Series is finally, once again, around the turn on turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon deep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Road night I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
presentation. It feels so good to be back, and yet things have started off so wrong already. As we were sending things away to our commercial break, somebody realized that they, as tradition should dictate, left it on open qualifying. Yep. So we can roll out all the new bells and whistles here for the Daredevil series and the broadcast and make it look all fancy schmancy, but still can't get the damn qualifying session right. But yeah, we've got open qualifying here at Pocono. This is just a little bitty appetizer. This is like these are like your cheese curds before your big meal that are coming up here. So we get to see a little bit of some drafting action. Some drivers laying back and getting some runs in. Who are we keeping our eyes on here?
Well, right now we're looking at this big pack coming across the front stretch here. What you'll notice here is in this pack and inside of the top 6, it looks like now, are 2 former champions from the first 2 seasons. That is Dakota DeMade in Season 1 and Octavio Rondoletto in Season 2. So we already have all of the old crew back at it again. I can't believe it. And adding some new folks. I'm going to say it time and time again. It is going to be something special.
All right, so we're halfway through. 5 minutes down, 5 minutes to go. There will be another 40-something seconds after that 5 minutes is up to make sure everybody gets a lap in. Matthew Short has been teasing me. He's been dangling this carrot in front of me to see who his race pick for the day is going to be. And I'm excited to hear it. Unrivaled intellect from Matthew Short in terms of picking race winners. He's batting 1,000, so I'm excited to hear it shortly, hopefully. In the meantime, I'm going to give you some stats here as we're watching some drivers go around. Representing our 27 drivers here tonight, we have 11 states represented here tonight: Alabama, Arizona, California, Iowa, Indiana, Minnesota, Ohio, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and West Virginia, and 4 countries outside of the United States. We have Argentina, France, Spain, and the United Kingdom represented here tonight. Also, as this is a season opening race, you're going to have some first-timers there denoted with the N in parentheses at the end of their names on the scoring pylon. 13 drivers are making their first career starts here tonight. Matthew Short says tonight's winner is going to be James Gandolfini. So Tony Soprano is going to win the Daredevil Series race here tonight. That's all we got for you folks. Signing off. We already know who's going to win. So have a good night, and we'll catch you next week.
Oh, man, I was going to do music playing and everything. You didn't let it simmer enough.
Stream just ends right there. Mr. Row 5 says that James Gandolfini, who passed away, I believe, in 2013, is going to win the race here tonight. So that's a big call. Big, crazy call here tonight. Oh, the memery is in the chat already. And if you're not in the chat and you're here for this, get in the chat. Let's hear from you. We've already got good old Mr. Garrett Rainey hanging out with us here tonight. We got Matthew Short, of course, ever the memer he is. Caleb Bensi was in the chat here a little bit ago. So, yeah, if you're here tonight, let us know. Give us a shout. We'll give you one right back. As one of the newcomers just went to the top of the board. That is Javier Mosquera, the driver from Vigo, Spain. Just went to the top of the board in car number 017. We got a nice pack of 4 drivers working here, including our winner in our recruitment race from Indianapolis last week. Andy Poliski is riding in this group, I believe, with Paul Ellison in front of him.
Yeah, and we're taking a look at this pack right now as we speak. You mentioned it, some of the newcomers to the series. We have quite a few of them here tonight. Oh, and there goes one around. Oh my! And that was Andy Poliski.
Oh my God! That was as horrible of a crash as I've ever seen.
Well,
man.
there it is. It's already started.
Oh man. Garrett Rainey making a more, I think, a more reasonable pick here with Steve Roman. Steve Roman, of course, on a roll right now. If you were with us with the Venom Truck Series last night, he finally broke his winless streak after coming close so many times. He got to victory lane last night, and rightly pointing out, Rainey says that Steve has a knack for winning these opening races. This isn't exactly an inaugural race. We are folding in the first two seasons of Venom Truck Series, or of the RIL Daredevil Series statistics. So this is sort of a grand reopening, if you will, here tonight. But it's still Romans for the taking, as it is for any of the other 26 drivers that are joining us here tonight. Just about 30 seconds left to go, plus another lap. Who are we going to be watching here as the checkers start to drop?
Well, right now we're watching somebody that is very familiar with being near the front here at Pocono in the Daredevil Series. It's Christopher Hill in the 101. He won this race, I believe, in Season 2.
Yep.
And he did well in Season 1 as well. So he is certainly one that we're going to be watching here tonight to be there at the end.
Both of our series champions are in action here tonight. Dakota DeMay right now and Tavia Rondoletto in 6th. And both of our previous Pocono winners are here tonight. Of course, Christopher Hill, Season 2 winner, and Nate Siefker, a late addition to tonight's field. Your Season 1 winner here in spectacular fashion. Checkers are out, so anybody that's on a lap will get to come back around to the line. We'll see if Javier Mascara's top time is going to hold up here. Not seeing a whole lot of big packs working around the track here, so that time may stand.
Yeah, I think that should about do it. We haven't moved on quite yet. And here we go.
Got about 15 seconds, yep.
Looks like Drew White still coming around to finish up here.
I think that is going to do it. So it is Javier Mascara in his first career start. Is going to take the pole here tonight at Legacy Pocono. We're getting ready for 60 laps around this big, tricky triangle here tonight. And the Season 2 winner will start to his outside. That is the 101 of Christopher Hill. On row number 2 on the inside, third place finisher in the points last season, 2 times a winner in the Daredevil Series. That is James Watson starting in third. To his outside, car number 20, that is Zachary Flaum. The Season 1 champion on the inside of row 3, that is Dakota DeMade. The Demigod starts in 5th here tonight. Nate Siefker, Pocono winner in Season 1, will start in 6th. Row number 4 on the inside, your defending series champion, that is the Argentinian Octavio Rondoletto. And to his outside, the winner of the very first Daredevil Series race all the way back in Atlanta last year, that was Drew White. He starts at 8th here tonight. Nicholas Isidro joining us once again. He has not missed a Daredevil Series start in his career. He starts at 9th here tonight. Started his outside. Car number 81, that is Kirk Lane, rounding out your top 10 starters. Car number 6 on the inside is Matt Wagner. To his outside is Hunter Engram, 2 drivers starting their first career race here tonight. 2 more drivers starting their first career Daredevil Series race here tonight is Steve Roman in 13th, Sean Begley in 14th. Nick Goyette and Ryan Dye, they keep that newcomer train rolling. They start in 15th and 16th. Paul Ellison and Seb Kinder, likewise, all rookies, or all newcomers rather, 17th and 18th. Victor Aldrich and Andy Poliski then round out your top 20. So that is a lot of N in parentheses in a row there. And Hayden Herman, the last driver to join the session here tonight and the league, is Hayden Herman in 21st. Peter Donchak starting his outside in 22nd. Austin Lafferty is back. He will start in 23rd here tonight. Cody Claiborne will start in 24th. Rhett Nichols in 25th. Tony Patty back in 26th. And Ben Carswell, your 27th and final starter here tonight. Alrighty, Matt, cars are rolling. What are we expecting here at Pocono?
So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the weather first, as we always do. 101 degrees on the track temperatures, so that is not a low number, not an extremely high number, but still something we're going to have to keep an eye on, especially as we mentioned in these cars. The big thing about them is that right rear tire gets hot, and you can go around in quite the hurry. So you gotta watch that right rear tire. There are no fast repairs here in the Daredevil Series. That is one thing that we are going to have to keep up with. 25% fuel capacity here. That means probably about 20 to 25 laps. However, we have to make it in a green flag run first. And here at Pocono, we haven't had an incredible amount of long green flag runs. So we'll have to see if we can even get one of those.
That is a good point. If we do happen to get a long green flag run, it should make the strategy interesting. Like you said, though, with the right rear tires the way they are, a lot of new drivers here tonight, not really expecting a whole lot of green flag runs, at least to start this race. Maybe towards the end, when fuel isn't a concern, we can close this out with a big green flag run. All righty, partner. We waited a long time for this.
We certainly have. We have a lot of drivers here that showed up to the first race, and at Pocono, that means absolute mayhem. I would expect nothing less. Started out with open qualifying, finally ready, about to take the green flag. Here we go.
The front row, newcomer Javier Mosquera has snagged the pole. Beside him, it's the 101 of Christopher Hill. Down the Long Pond straightaway, the Daredevils are finally on the again. The big fan out, three wide already.
Your two former champions, Rondoletto and DeMade, were three wide, nearly going into turn two.
And lap number one in the new and improved Daredevil Series goes to Christopher Hill. He's right back to where he was last season. Mosquera and Flown side by side for second. Behind them, Watson and Rondoletto side by side.
And one of two things is going to end up happening here before too long through turns 1 and 2. You're either going to get just that right rear tire is going to get hot and you're going to spin around into one, or you're going to get really tight out of
turn two, and now you're going to bang off the wall and then take it three wide right away. Holy cow, and a move there from Rondoletto.
And just as I was saying it, Rondoletto banged it off the wall, it seemed, and then made a move. Unbelievable.
Craziness. Absolute insanity here. It's lap number 2 up on the board. Something happened to Rhett Nichols, even I think before the start of the race, that ended up making him go to the pits. And he is out of the session, so not sure what happened there. But we are working lap number 3 here, and it's Christopher Hill out front. And Rondoletto trying to track him down. Rondoletto won twice on big ovals last year. Started the season with a win at Auto Club. Ended the year with the craziest win you'll ever see at Indianapolis. And that was good enough to bag him the title. He was trying to pull up on Hill, and now has fallen back into the clutches of Flown.
And Octavio Rondoletto has now gotten up to the second spot. He's gotten around Zach Flown.
Behind them, trying to battle for fifth, maybe. Isidro and Engrave, and James Watson.
And you can also get really tied out of turn number 3 as well. Since we have him in the chat here, I would be remiss to not bring it up.
Oh, boy. I knew this was going to come up if Matt Short was going to be here tonight.
Mr. Row 5 himself was running so well. One of the best races of his season. I believe that was in season 1. And he ended up hard into the outside wall, got tied out of turn 3. So it can happen in turns 2 and 3.
Drew White just set the purple lap of the race. He's running back in 8th as Christopher Hill now has some side mirrors full of Rondoletto. Rondoletto about to have his hands full. Zachary Flaum, however.
And Nate Seeker is on the move as well, back in 7th, just in front of Drew White.
Dang, I don't know who that was behind Nick Isidro, but he just gave him a shot. I think Isidro just actually got up and nudged the wall. Didn't really lose any time, though. I don't know what these walls are made out of, but they seem to be speeding these drivers up. It's like running the cushion at Eldora. But here comes Isidro now to the inside of James Watson. And I think that was Hunter Engrave behind him. So you can bump a little bit in these, which is surprising. But maybe a little bit too much of a bump there. As Rondoletto been yo-yoing back and forth between having to defend and having to play offense here.
Whoa, we're weaving back and forth big time here.
Pole sitter Javier Mascara has fallen outside of the top 10 now. Matt Wagner is trying to mount a charge here to get up to this front group. Let's see if anything is going to come of it, as it's again Rondoletto trying to fend off Zachary Flaum. This is the style of action you were talking about in the opening. This sort of semi-pack racing. You're not really going to see Christopher Hill walk away with this unless something happens behind him. But everybody is going to be close. I think we just had some contact between Tony Patty and Austin Lafferty, but they did not go around. So that is good news.
And this tends to happen quite a bit, where you have one big pack kind of run away from the second pack. And we've seen this pretty often in seasons 1 and 2 in the Daredevil series. And it continues here tonight. About to put lap number 8 on the board, and I don't want to jinx anything, but I cannot believe we've made it this many laps.
Yeah.
Especially with all of the newcomers to the series we have. I just thought we would have something happen.
Yeah, the jinx is locked and loaded now.
That's what I do best, partner.
To the inside of Watson. That is for 4th. They are side by side, 2 abreast there behind this battle for 2nd. So a big gap has developed between Drew White, who is in 8th at the tail end of this group, and Steve Vroman, who is running in 9th.
And Isidro, and I think this is Engrave, still running side by side here. Isidro finally pulls in behind Engrave. Engrave makes a pass.
New purple lap of the session belongs to Andy Poliski. And the points rubric, no bonus points awarded. So, whoa, man, big problems there for, I think, Steve Vroman. Man, he just had to check up hard not to cause an accident there.
And you're right.
But what a whale of a save.
Slowed down that chute. He got passed by about, he got passed by about 7 cars there, I think.
Something just happened to Tony Patty, but I can't see where he's at on the track.
Yeah, it looks like he went off the track. And I can't really see him either. It might be,
I wonder if
blinking.
He may have dropped out, and he's just hanging on the track. Oh, I see him now. I have no idea where he's at.
and
Yeah,
there's
I'm
a
going to have to throw the
caution.
caution because he is showing that he is the track.
So a bit of a break for our drivers here. I was trying to figure out for you what happened. Oh, here he is. It says he's just out of turn number 1, I think this is. And he's just kind of blinking in and out. I'm not sure he is actually... Yeah, I'm not sure he has a good connection to the session.
And I wish there was a way I could make him tow, because it's either... Oh, there he goes. Okay. So that's good. I wonder maybe if it was... it could have been a wheel disconnect. But unfortunately, the motor blew in that car, so it's toast. But yeah, he was parked halfway on, halfway off the racing surface, so as the leaders were coming through, so that's was unfortunately necessary. But it was a needed breather, I think, for some of these drivers who are mixing it up front. As now everybody's going to get a chill pill. A needed breather as well, maybe for the drivers that had lost the draft and were having to try and work extra hard to get back up.
Yeah, that's just a product of these cars. That tends to happen most often here. I think pretty much everybody's probably going to come into the pits to at least get fuel. Remind me, do we have a limited set of tires here?
Yes.
Is it 3 sets?
No, it is unlimited. Yes.
Oh, it is unlimited. Okay.
Yep.
So unlimited tires, so everybody will get tires and fuel, I would assume.
They might not get tires. If you can keep the tire temperature regulated, you may not need to take tires, but it is an interesting gamble here.
Here they come. It looks like one person is going to stay out. A couple of takers are going to stay out here, and maybe a couple of them were a lap down. I know Rhett Nichols had an issue, so he may be just trying to get a lap back here.
Yeah, so Rhett Nichols, I believe, is a lap down. He's actually 10 laps down. Holy cow. But everybody else is on the lead lap that stayed out. So he said some strategy, and it looked like a lot of gas and go there. But Dakota DeMay has stayed out, Hayden Herman has stayed out, and Cody Claiborne and Nick Goyette has stayed out as well. So another newcomer at the front here. It'll be Goyette leading across the line next time.
And of those that did not come into pit, it looks like your top 4, Goyette, Cody Claiborne, Hayden Herman, and Season 1 champion, Dakota DeMay, all elected to stay out and not come into pit that time around. And it's a bit of a gamble, a bit of a strategy play, but we talked about how important some track position is here, saying that it kind of breaks up into 2 groups, and that second group usually tends to not be able to stick with the draft. It might be a play to get into that first pack, so you know that you're not going to lose a draft here.
Take care of some business here while we got a little bit of time. Somebody just asked me a question. I missed what it was. Hold on just a second.
Well, while you're answering that, I'm going to answer Matthew Short's questions. How are we in the booth? How was our days, and what did we have for dinner? Well, I had Chick-fil-A for dinner because I like Chick-fil-A, and my day was work. And now I'm here, so it's a hell of a lot better than it was just a bit ago. Hope everybody out there is having a great time watching the Daredevil series. I mean, if you don't know already, this is maybe the best car on the sim, and we love bringing the action to everybody out there. So leave a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. It helps us out. We're trying to hit some different levels to be able to bring you some more interesting things here, so we would appreciate it.
I don't know what you just said. I may say something you already said, but appreciate Endernix hanging out with us here tonight, and also Mr. Kingslayer and Oz Kennard hopping in the chat as well. I'm being berated by the drivers right now for not implementing the choose cone. So I will say it's hard to have a choose cone when we're having single file restarts, but you know, I'd say just follow the leader. And right now that leader is Nick Goyette. We had 3 drivers join at the 11th hour here tonight. He is one of them. And so he's got to be feeling pretty good. I think he was one of the regulars of the Formula Indy series. Don't think we ever saw him in Schaefer's Indy Redacted, but I could be wrong. Yeah, he's here tonight. That's all that matters. He's a daredevil and leading the field. Cody Claiborne is behind him. Great to see Cody up front here at Pocono. Hayden Herman, the last driver to register for the series here tonight and join the session. He's in 3rd, then Season 1 champion. And I hate to say this, but it's a quote that he says all the time. He says in Season 2, he went from champ to chump. And I just think he was the hard luck driver of the season. But Dakota DeMade is up front here, running in 4th, ahead of now Christopher Hill. And that is your top 5 as we're coming back to the restart here on lap number 14. A little bit of a stack up there.
It looked like there was a lot of crazy action. I think there was actually a crash a little bit farther back in the pack. And there's a few drivers involved here.
Yes, indeed. Victor Aldrich, Austin Lafferty, Steve Roman, Kurt Lane. And the caution is out again. And kudos to Ryan Dye. He's doing some on-track admin for me here tonight. Just as I was going to hit the yellow flag, he beat me to the punch. So, that is our first actual caution for incident here. We'll go back and take a look at what happened.
Yeah, we'll see if we can figure out what happened here. Maybe just a bit of a stack up. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. Somebody got
for sure
into the back. I don't know the cars extremely well. A lot of our newcomers I don't know, and then those that have come back have made a lot of changes to the paint scheme, so it's kind of hard to figure out who's who here.
I think it's going to be Steve Roman. They're checking up hard in front of him, and the reason I don't really know, Roman not going to get on the brakes quite quick enough. Going to pile into the back of Kirk Lane, and it is on from there. Kirk Lane, Vroman, Victor Aldrich is the next to pile in. Austin Lafferty going to get a piece of this as well and actually get up and over. But I think it's limited to just those 4. Oh, man, Austin Lafferty,
wow.
I think, is no longer with us.
And a couple of them barely squeezed through the action there. I think Carswell was one of them, and maybe Peter Donchek. So pretty good evasive maneuvering happening there.
So waiting to get back up to the pace truck here. After a bit of a botched restart. 2 cautions already here tonight. And I believe we have lost Tony Patty from the first incident, and now Austin Lafferty and Kirk Lane have both disconnected as well. So not the debut Kirk Lane was looking for here tonight. And really, I don't think it was through any fault of his own. They were checking up in front of him and didn't quite get slowed up behind.
There's a lot of smoke behind somebody trying to get into the pits. I don't know if they blew an engine. I'm not sure who that was.
I missed it as well.
I think it might have been Steve Roman.
That would not surprise me. He made some pretty significant contact there.
I don't know if it was just that or if it was
tires.
Yep,
that is a lot of smoke coming out of Steve Roman. You're right. So that's maybe the end of the night for driver number 00 here tonight.
Looking to see. Yeah, it looks like he's just getting...
Yeah, Victor Aldrich also has a... Yeah, they both have meatball flags, unfortunately, so... It's maybe it for those 2.
All right. Well, this would be a time to mention that if you are a returner or a returned viewer to the Daredevil series, you would know that in seasons 1 and 2 there was it was either a 50 or a 55-minute time limit. I think it's prevalent to mention because we've had a couple of early cautions here. There is no time limit any longer, so we are going to go the scheduled distance here tonight, and not only that, if we need to, there will be an opportunity for one overtime finish, and if we don't complete that, then that will set the field as they take the checkered.
Believe lights are out on the pace truck here, so we'll get one more lap before we go to green. Let's get a quick through the field here. It's Nick Goyette leading, Cody Claiborne in second, Dakota DeMade up to third, Hayden Herman in fourth, Christopher Hill then in fifth. And I just remembered I need to do something here. Never mind. Okay. Christopher Hill in fifth, Octavio Rondoletto in sixth, Nate Seifker in seventh, Drew White in eighth, Hunter Engrave in ninth, Nicholas Cedro in 10th. Then it is James Watson in the 11th, Zachary Flaum in 12th, Matt Wagner in 13th, Ryan Dye in 14th, Andy Poliski in 15th, Javier Mosquera, the pole sitter, is back to 16th, Sean Begley in 17th, Paul Ellison in 18th, Seb Kinder in 19th, and Ben Carswell in 20th, Peter Donchak in 21st. And then it is all drivers who were involved in accidents. After this, it is Steve Roman in 22nd, Victor Aldrich in 23rd. Still listed on the lead lap, but they're both in the pits here, so they are a lap down. Then Kirk Lane, a DNF here tonight. Austin Lafferty, DNF. Tony Patty, DNF. And Rhett Nichols, I believe, may have left already. I'm not sure, but he is credited in last place right now. So hopefully we can clean it up a little bit here on this restart. That was the first one. You can expect some problems maybe. But here we go. Lap 18 up on the board, and yes, like you said, important to mention that there is no time limit anymore, or at least one that we're realistically going to hit, like we did in the first two seasons.
Oh wow, we are going to be three wide.
Rondoletto, the meat in the sandwich there. Oh boy!
Whew, I think he rolled out of it. He was going to be in trouble.
I think you're right. I think that was Hunter Engrave to his outside rather. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw indeed. And Engrave got pretty tight out of turn number 2. It looked like he might have touched the wall, but he's still going at a good clip here.
And up front, Goyette and Claiborne continue to show the way. Dakota DeMade, Christopher Hill, Nate Seifker are rolling up on these two, though. Here goes Claiborne to the inside of Goyette for the lead. Nothing going just yet.
Yeah, couldn't make it happen that time, but turn number 2 is where we see a lot of passes being made after you get a big run down that chute between turns 1 and 2.
Here goes Claiborne again to the inside here. Hill on DeMade for third, and Claiborne is going to get the pass done this time. DeMade out wide. Seifker now going to go underneath.
Yeah,
and here goes Hill to the inside of Goyette for second.
And maybe for first.
And maybe for first. Wasted no time getting back to the front. He's got a wing out front. Not quite clear on Claiborne just yet. Now he's clear. And look at the group forming up behind them.
Not only the group, look who is on the inside looking for second now. That's Nate Siefker. So this is Season 1 Pocono race winner and Season 2 Pocono race winner looking to be 1-2.
They were going to carve a Mount Rushmore into the Poconos. It would be Hill and Siefker up there for sure. Does anybody else have anything for these two here tonight? It might be Cody Claiborne. He's still hanging here on the outside, trying to stall the progress of Nate Siefker on the bottom. James Watson, that last time by, set the purple lap of the session. Oh, we're 3 wide. Oh, contact! That's a problem. It's another big one.
Oh, my.
Goyette, Wagner, Isidro, Poliski, Herman, Mascara, Ben Carswell. Caution is out. And to be honest with you, I'm not exactly sure who the contact was between. It might have been Goyette, the first to go there. I think it was Goyette and Isidro, actually, that made the contact, as Rondoletto was to the inside of Goyette there, 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, and Rondoletto pretty much held his line. Goyette, just really not a whole lot of places to go there.
Tight quarters for sure. Like, that is no room for error at all.
No, and he just ends up
That's
going
asking
around.
a lot.
And a couple of drivers were going to try to go around the outside of this incident. One of them is Poliski. Oh, and there were a couple other drivers that took quite a bit of damage here as well.
Yes, it is Hayden Herman, Andy Poliski, both with meatball flags. I think Matt Wagner, he doesn't have a meatball flag, but he is may have too much damage to want to continue here. So keep my eye on driver number 6 here, as I think Cody Claiborne is coming to the pits. Let's see if anybody else is coming. Matt Wagner, Javier Mascara, both had damage. Seb Kinder, who have not got to mention here much tonight, he is also hitting the pit road.
Well, I think that's only going to leave us with maybe 15 cars
We never finished the Daredevil series with very many cars ever.
No. I mean, we have finished races with quite literally 2 undamaged cars left.
Or 0 at Indianapolis.
Well, yes, that is true. But I mean literally doing a restart with 2 cars undamaged.
Yep, definitely. And definitely some lengthy repairs here going on for Matt Wagner in the pits. Hopefully he is able to continue. The other 3 drivers that were on pit road have already made their way off of pit road, actually save for Hayden Herman, who is still in the pits as well.
And look at this. Drew White has made his way up into 3rd place.
The Oval Master, as dubbed by Gary Godso of Raceverse fame, Drew White. And he proved he was the Oval Master by winning the very first race in Daredevil Series history. All the way back, last March of 2022 at the Old Atlanta. Drew White is up front at an oval again here, rocking a podium spot. Unfortunately, the damage too much here tonight for Andy Poliski. He is gone. And Hayden Herman will follow suit. So not the debut that a lot of folks were looking for here tonight. Newcomers Kirk Lane, Steve Roman, Andy Poliski, and Hayden Herman have all disconnected. Also, Tony Patty and Austin Lafferty have joined them in the DNF bin here tonight. Only 25 laps in, 24 laps in rather. We're not even to halfway yet.
Well, I mean, if there's one thing I know from our usual Daredevil crew, just when I think the action might slow down just a bit to get some green flag laps in, quite literally the exact opposite happens. So it's kind of hard to tell what's going to happen here. I'm surprised there's a couple of Venom Truck Series drivers still hanging in here. We got Paul Ellison and Ryan Dye, I believe, are undamaged. They're running just outside of the top 10. And most of the other drivers here that are undamaged are return drivers to the Daredevil Series. I think Hunter Engrave is the only one that isn't. And of course, he is raced with a lot of these guys in other series.
Matthew Short asking for a James Gandolfini update. James Joseph Gandolfini Jr. was born on September 18th, 1961, and passed away on June 19th, 2013. He was an American actor best known for his portrayal of Tony Soprano, the Italian-American mafia crime boss in HBO's television series The Sopranos. For this role, he won 3 Emmy Awards and 5 SAG Awards as well, and a Gold Globe. That is your James Gandolfini update as we are coming to the restart here on lap 25 with Christopher Hill in control of the field.
You never cease to amaze me, Tommy Cook.
I am egged on by some interesting folks here. We already have a pass for the lead.
Oh,
Seeker wasting no time.
Oh, boy. Not only that, now we're 3 wide.
Drew White to P1. Seifker in second. Hill now side by side with Hunter Engrave for fourth.
And here goes Seifker looking for the top spot.
Seifker to the lead.
Drew White looking for a crossover. Not going to happen this time.
It's going to be Seifker across the line with the lead here, lap 26. Here goes Hunter Engrave now with a move to the inside of Drew White for second. And behind them, Rondoletto to the inside of Hill. Oh, Rondoletto's so loose there.
And Drew White got really loose on the outside lane through turn 1 as well.
Single file for now. How long is that going to last? Not much longer. Here goes Christopher Hill now to the inside of Engrave, third.
Oh, and not much room to work with. Engrave's to the outside wall.
How did they save that? 3 wide from Rondoletto and a pass for the lead at the same time. Drew White back to the lead. Rondoletto ahead of Hill. How did they not crash?
Oh my goodness, Engrave I think has maybe a toe out or something. Nearly got into the wall out of turn number 3 as well.
Drew White takes the lead, sets the purple lap of the session. And Engrave and Rondoletto and Christopher Hill cutting it up there for the final spot on the podium. Man, getting after it.
My goodness. I don't know why. I shouldn't expect anything less, but this is unbelievable.
Closing in, White with the early move to the bottom of turn 2 to try and cover off the advance of Nate Seifker. Rondoletto closing in. He will put that car wherever it needs to go. He may find himself in the middle of 3 wide here. Here's Engrave to the outside and Hill to the inside. Not a whole lot of space to operate with. Nick Isidro is pulling up to this battle now as well. Unbelievable. Isidro's not thinking about 4 wide, surely. Hill and Rondoletto
back here has let Drew White get a little bit of a gap here.
Drew White absolutely trying to put the burners on and get away. So here goes Rondoletto down to the inside of Seifker.
Oh, contact!
And that is big, big trouble. That is going to be a lot. Oh, don't tell me that was Dakota DeMay. No, DeMay got through. It was another white car that got tossed up there. Might have been Sean Begley. I think he's back in the pits already. Rondoletto, Seifker, and Engrave also involved.
Yeah, Seb Kinder as well. That was that white and yellow car that you were mentioning.
Oh, man. Well,
Wow.
we know where the move came from. We got to take another look at it, though. We got to get a closer look at this.
Yep, and this one started a little bit farther back. I want to watch this run from Rondoletto all the way down this stretch here. Seifker pulls out in front. Rondoletto goes to the inside. He's trying to... Oh, there's a bit of a net code there as well. But I think there may have been contact anyways. But Rondoletto, close quarters, turns Seifker into the inside of him. Rondoletto will go for a ride, and Seifker's not able to save it either. And Engrave just was not... Engrave and Hill just not able to quite get out of it, and... Oh, boy. Those were some heavy hitters involved in that one.
Definitely some net code there. Looking at it on the broadcast, a little bit delayed. They actually weren't even going to touch on the trajectories they were on. That's the unfortunate thing. But it's not even, that wasn't even egregious netcode. That was just kind of the amount of netcode you would expect. And that's such a shame. These two are absolutely getting after it here. And I think Hunter Engrave was trying to limp it back to the pits and has just blown up. Oh, man.
And there is a good look at the carnage from a wide view. Wow. The thing about this is, even if you took quite a bit of damage, as long as you can keep it rolling, you really want to, because incidents like this are going to happen. If you can get some repairs made and at least be able to make some laps, you can pick off a couple of spots here.
Wow, that is a couple of wild rides there. And Hunter Engrave is called it a night, unfortunately. As Drew White showing the way. Quite a few drivers stayed out here. The drivers that just came to pit. Christopher Hill, Dakota DeMay, James Watson, Ben Carswell. Also, Javier Mascara, Nate Seifker, of course, Seb Kinder, and Matt Wagner. Some of those drivers had damage. Some of them did not. So my best guess as to who is still running. Drew White, of course. Nicholas Isidro in second. Zachary Flam is now back up to third. He was making a lot of noise at the beginning of this race until the first pit stop. Paul Ellison is now up in fourth. Ryan Dye will round out your top five. So shout out to the Venom Truck Series boys. Peter Donchak in sixth. Cody Claiborne right now runs in seventh. Christopher Hill is back up to eighth. Seb Kinder now in ninth. And James Watson will round out your top 10. With Dakota DeMay in 11th. Ben Carswell in 12th. Javier Mascara in 13th. And I think Matt Wagner is playing catch-up right now. He'd be back in 14th, if I'm not mistaken.
And here comes everybody from Donchak on back to the pits, I would assume, to take some more repairs. So to me, that tells me we only have 6 cars that are mostly untouched here at full strength.
I think Donchak just got a speeding penalty, but that shouldn't change a whole lot here. He'll just be at the tail end of this line for the restart. And, yeah, it always kind of happens like this, where we get a couple of big crashes and we really, you know, it's sort of luck of the draw who is going to get wiped out. And then you've got what you got at the end, and it really, it's sort of like super speedway racing in that it's like a revolving door of drivers getting up front, making noise, seeing what they can do in clean air. So we get a couple of names that we have yet to see up front here tonight, like some of the Venom Truck Series drivers, or at least the 2 that are left, Paul Ellison and Ryan Dye.
Yeah, and I mean, most of the others that are up front here have pretty much been up here most of the night. You have Drew White, Isidro, Zach Flaum, Cody Claiborne, Christopher Hill. They've all pretty much been up towards the front, or at least flirting with that main pack pretty much all night long.
We got Terminal Velocity Racing and Max Hall in the chat as well. So shout out to you guys for coming to hang out with us here tonight. Also want to give some shout outs to people I don't know if they are here or not. Christopher Kresge and Christian Jasper. Expect to see them in the coming weeks here, but are not here tonight. So I want to say hi to both of them. Coming to the restart, lap 32. Drew White playing some restart games. Gets a great restart there. Took that one from the Michael DeTurk School of Restarts. Shout out to him as well.
And the one thing that can happen here, if you can get like a really, really good restart and you get out over a second, I mean, pretty much anything over a second, it's kind of hard to sniff a draft and get back to that person in first. We actually saw that in our very first Daredevil Series race. That first initial start of the race, we had a driver get way out in front, and nobody was able to catch him until he had a caution. So that is something that you can do in this car.
Yeah, draft range effectively is about 1.1 seconds. The lead right now for Drew White over Nicholas Isidro is about 5/10. And really, even bump drafting or being right up under the rear wing of somebody is not really going to give you the advantage you would expect to have like you would, say, in a NASCAR. It really does not help that much. So you really got to make sure that you're within draft range here to get after it. Otherwise, Drew White will do the improbable and walk away with it. But Nicholas Isidro and Zachary Flaum putting in good work here to make sure that doesn't happen. They have pretty visibly cut that gap here as we're coming back to the line on lap 34.
And the one thing that will happen here, as they have a pretty large gap that they're going to end up closing here eventually, is they will get a massive run on Drew White right when they get to him. So Drew White could be a bit of a sitting duck here once they get that big run. Matt Short mentions Michael DeTurk, how he hopes that he's doing well. Hasn't talked to him in a while. He is intermittently going to be coming out, I think, for the Daredevil Series again.
Yes.
Actually is helping us with some setups for the road courses and a couple others. So his hand is still in the pot here in the Daredevil Series, whether he's racing or not.
Just made a pass for fourth. Ryan Dye, who is running the channel numbers at our request, at our behest. Ryan Dye in car number 200 has moved his way up to fourth. Christopher Hill now going to pass Paul Ellison to get up to fifth.
And Ellison has dropped a couple of spots now. Just got passed by Christopher Hill in the 101. So maybe some problems here for Ellison.
There we go for the lead to the inside. Isidro going to slide up in front of Drew White. And number 24 out front at Pocono. But Drew White fighting back, trying to maybe find some real estate on the outside here. Nothing going just yet, but this fight is not over.
And here he goes. Dive to the inside. Flaum will stay with Isidro for now.
Isidro slots in line in second. But a big run here off of turn number one. It'll be a drag race down to turn two. Maybe this could open the door for some three-wide action with Zachary Flaum. Or maybe Ryan Dye is going to get on the action here. Ryan Dye, last time around, set the perfect lap of the session, 48.5.
Yeah, he came on the scene in a hurry as that battle for the lead was heating up.
Oh, Isidro and White, close proximity. Wing to wing at the line, 11 1/1000ths of a second. Isidro had it at the line, but White has the positioning here into turn number one.
Oh! There goes Drew White! And he collects Christopher Hill.
I think Paul Ellison may have got a piece of it on his way by, and that is what we were talking about, the hot right rear tire. And Drew White and Christopher Hill. Man, that changes the entire complexion of this race.
I mean, it really does. I mean, we talked about Drew White being a veteran of the series. He got the first ever win in the Daredevil Series, and here he is. It can come up and bite anybody, even a veteran of the series like Drew White becomes victim of that right rear tire.
Well, the big one last season was Dakota DeMade. I mean, there's hardly anybody better than Dakota DeMade. So like you just said, it can happen to anybody. Nobody is exempt from sending it in there a little bit too hot with a squishy right rear tire and just whipping it around. Man, who is left? Who is left? I mean, that should just be the tagline. Once we get past halfway of the race, we should just put that on the lower third. Who is left in this race?
I mean, really, we have over a third of the race left to go, and I think maybe 4 cars untouched. And this is why I said that when that other big crash happened, that if you can get some damage repaired and continue, I mean, you're going to gain positions, and we're seeing it right here.
Oh, by the way, we are right on the fuel number.
So everybody's going to come in and top off is what you're telling me.
Theoretically. Some people may think they have the number already and are going to stay out and stretch. But we will see. I was getting about 23 in practice. The draft and caution laps may be helping that a little bit. So who knows what it actually is. But we are pretty much right on the number to make it to the end without any more pit road on and offs.
Oh, looking at pit entry. Here comes everybody.
Everybody. Neil Lusher isn't here to stay out, unfortunately, tonight. That's another shout-out. Do see Cody Claiborne, I believe, has stayed out. Nope, it's another pink car. Maybe that's Matt Wagner? Can't remember.
It is Matt Wagner, yes.
So Wagner has damage, but he is on the lead lap. Octavio Rondoletto, I believe, just got the lucky dog, which is a thing now. That is something I intentionally put into the session here tonight, not one of the things I accidentally put into the session. So Rondoletto gets the lucky dog. He will be back on the lead lap. It is disconnects from Drew White and Christopher Hill. Not a surprise. They took 2 big shots there. That's 2 early favorites for the title out as well. But Rondoletto, like you said, even if you're involved, you got to stick with it. You never know what's going to happen here in the closing 20 whatever laps.
And that's a big part of being a champion and winning a championship. Even when things go south, you have to make the most of it.
And a bit of irony as well, because this was the only race last season he did not finish. Actually, he didn't finish this race or Long Beach, or he came out with like 1 lap to go after crashing on the first lap at Long Beach, one of the two. But
yeah, it was definitely Long Beach. We had that huge pileup into turn 1. And him and his teammate, Miranda, were both heavily involved in that one.
He was also involved in an accident here. It was actually talking about an overheated right rear tire and a solo spin. He did that here at Pocono as well. And either didn't finish or finished quite a number of laps down. But those were his worst 2 finishes all season.
All right, so Wagner is going to come into the pits now. And that will leave all of your previous leaders coming back out. Isidro won the battle off of pit road.
And one thing we have not mentioned at all tonight, but it's a good time to bring it up now while I'm thinking about it. Week 13. Everybody loves Week 13 on iRacing. Week 13 of the Daredevil Series is the first ever Daredevil Series All-Star Race. And it is at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Which was personally one of my favorite races that we've ever had here. We've such low expectations, even though it's a home race for both of us. Low expectations and over-delivered on the racing action. It was fantastic. So the All-Star race is back there. Anybody that has won a race or a championship in seasons 1 or 2, and anybody that will win a race in season 3 will be locked in. Also, the driver who has finished highest in points in seasons 1 and 2 combined that did not get a win is locked in to the All-Star race already. Do you know who that driver is?
Wow, didn't win a championship, but the most amount
Didn't
of
win a
points.
race,
Oh, didn't win a race.
but had the highest amount of points in seasons 1 and
Wow.
2 combined.
Gosh, did James Watson win a race?
James Watson's won 2 races.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Why don't you tell me, because I'll make a fool of myself here.
Well, why don't you look to P1 right here? It's Nicholas
Really?
Isidro. Yes.
Wow, I can't believe it.
He came close to winning at Phoenix in the season finale in season 1, but never got to victory lane. So he's already locked in as an all-star at Gateway, but has an opportunity to do it the right way and get a win here tonight. 20 laps to go. Back to it. DeMade in second, Watson in third, Flaum and Ryan Dye, your top 5. Ben Carswell making a move on Ryan Dye into turn 1. Isidro trying to get away from all of it. Carswell gets that pass done on Ryan Dye. As here comes Dakota DeMade, the demigod, up to the lead.
Yeah, he's not quite clear yet. He'll still have to battle with the Isidro on the outside.
He'll clear him up off the bottom this time. New leader, Dakota DeMade, and the snake is on. Oh, Isidro! Woo! Tight quarters there. James Watson. He gave a shot to Isidro. Now the 424 is right back to it on the bottom. Not clear. Oh, that's going to be tight. Woo! Man! DeMade out in front again, but not by much. Isidro has the positioning on the bottom. And he is going to clear DeMade up. Hey, Matthew Short, you never know. You might make the All-Star race. There are other ways to get in, too. Nicholas Isidro at the line. Top 5 are sort of breaking away here. Seb Kinder's gotten up to 6th around Ryan Dye, who's fallen back to 7th.
I think a big question here is, will things settle down in the closing stages before we get to about the last 6 laps? I don't know. Seems to have subsided here for just a bit.
The thing is now... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, with James Watson out here, I don't know if he is ever one to sit back and just kind of wait. If he gets a run, I feel like he'll take it.
The real problem is going to be these drivers are going to want to get on the loud pedal and start making the moves at the end of this race, right when the fuel load is going to get really light and these tires are going to get really hot. So always good to note, the green-white checkered is in the back pocket if we need it here tonight.
Ryan Dye has gotten around Seb Kinder, but is in danger of losing the draft here, and I feel like...
Yeah, I think he already has. We'll have to see if these guys start checking up front. That may be the last hope here for Dye and Kinder without a caution.
Yeah, it'll have to happen here pretty quick. Otherwise, I think it's over for them.
Behind them, Cody Claiborne, Peter Donchak, and Paul Ellison, the rest of the drivers in the top 10, have lost those two in front of them.
Here goes Watson to the inside of DeMade.
Isidro riding comfortably out front right now as they battle for second behind him. Watson, a winner at Michigan in Season 1 and Charlotte in Season 2. wants to win at all the big ovals here. Is in a good position to do so as he's starting to reel in Nicholas Isidro for the lead.
Whoa, DeMay was right on the rear tire of Watson.
Oh, Watson was getting a little bit wiggly there out of turn 3.
One thing I mean, there's a lot of things to love about this car, but one of them I love is the sounds that they make. I mean, sounds like a freaking TIE fighter screaming down the stretches here.
Ben Carswell is fading a little bit off of the back of this group here. Maybe just managing his stuff here, but doesn't want to get too far out back. And Carswell in a good position here to take his best career Daredevil finish here tonight. His best finish, I believe, was 7th at Milwaukee in Season 1.
And I want to go... I want to go into a cockpit view here, Tommy. I'm going to go on with...
Going kick pot?
Yep, we're going kick pot with the demigod, Dakota DeMade. I want to see what he's working with here.
Well, he's working with James Watson in front of him. And Watson, despite reeling in Isidro here, is looking a little bit unsteady. You really want to avoid rocking on these rear tires as much as possible. DeMade is faded just a little bit from Watson, and Zachary Flaum may be taking a look here to the inside of the demigod into turn 1. Maybe not. A lot wider of an entry there for DeMade than the driver. Here goes Watson to the inside of Isidro for the lead. He got it done. Here goes Isidro right back to it on the inside. And Flaum going to go to the inside of DeMade for 3rd. Oh boy, Watson again trying to take a peek out.
Here we go, another run for the 39.
11 and a half laps to go. And Watson back out front. But is Isidro going to take the lead back again before the end of this lap? Right back to the bottom. And he gets it done. Lap car ahead, I believe, is Rondoletto. Oh, don't get boxed in. Ooh, that was close. Flaum makes a move to the outside of DeMade after the shuffle there. And Watson on the inside of turn 1, back up to the lead.
This is a heck of a battle here.
We're not done yet. Crossover from Isidro.
And the
like
crossover like clockwork.
The conductors of the Symphony of Destruction here at Pocono. Watson and Isidro weaving a beautiful web here out front. As Flaum is on the move here. Isidro again to the inside. 10 laps to go. Ooh, Watson a little bit out of shape there. Hangs on to it. Like I said, light fuel load. Squishy right rear tire. This is the time these guys want to go, but are the cars going to want to cooperate here? Top 5 have broken away from the rest of the pack by about 3 seconds. We are coming to 9 laps to go. Isidro, Watson, Flaum, DeMade, and Carswell. These are the players for the end of this race unless we get a caution. Oh, we got big problems.
There's a crash.
Problem. Ellison, Mascara, Donchak, and Claiborne. Big wad up there in turn number 1, and the caution is out. All 4 of those are junk. I did not see that until it was just about over, so we're going to have to go back and take a look at what happened there. But that changes a couple of things.
Yeah, it certainly does. Let's take a look at the replay here first. Trying to figure out where this thing starts, and I think it may be Donchak.
Man.
Yep. Gets loose. Coming out of turn number 1. Oh, there's contact here. And it is almost impossible to get slowed down in these cars in a short amount of time. Everybody that was behind them is going to pile in here. I want to back it up here for just a second. I'm going to go on board with Javier Mascara and take a look at what he experienced.
Donchak was executing his game plan perfectly here tonight. That is too bad.
And just know where to go.
Nope.
All right.
Oh boy.
We have set the stage.
I think that leaves us with 9 cars. At least 9 competitive cars, 8 competitive cars maybe. 7 competitive cars. I don't know. We don't have very many cars left, okay? There's just not a whole lot of cars left.
Well, I know going back to Seb Kinder, Seb was involved in the big accident with Rondoletto that started with Rondoletto and Siefker. So I know that car is not, it cannot be 100%.
So Rondoletto, remember, had just gone a lap down. He is getting the lucky dog again. But he is pretty well off the pace, so it's just going to be a question of how many cars are going to finish this race for Rondoletto here tonight. Matt Wagner also pretty heavily damaged. You mentioned Nate Siefker as well, and Seb Kinder. So, yeah, six cars.
Yeah, I mean, I'm counting 6 cars, maybe even 5. I don't know. I think Matt Wagner had damage at the very beginning of the race, did he not?
Oh, no, Wagner is... I was not counting Wagner there. It would be Isidro, Watson, Flaum, DeMade, Dye, and Carswell.
Carswell in the pits at the moment.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
So, and a question mark there for Kinder, too, as well. It never showed up that he took damage, but I know he did.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Kinder was upside down at one point.
And you know what? Ben Carswell, he took damage somehow, and I missed it. How did I miss that? Did you already mention that?
Nope, I did not.
Because I completely missed it. I mean, under caution here, what happened? Carswell and Kinder made contact under caution. But Carswell trying to catch up to the pace car is coming to a stop.
Well, I do want to verify there is no question mark about Seb Kinder. The front of this car is absolutely
No, it is
tarnish.
now because he ran into the back of Ben Carswell while Carswell was slowing down, and
Oh.
he was at full speed. So, yeah, no, there certainly is no question about it now. I don't know what happened there. That was peculiar because there was nobody in the immediate vicinity of Carswell, and he slowed down to about 70 miles an hour. And I don't think Kinder was expecting it and just ran into him at full blast. So, not sure what happened there. So, yeah, the original number of 5 was correct.
Let me try and
Long
take a-
story short.
Let me try and take a quick look here. This is Carswell. Oh, yeah, you're right. Carswell just slowed way down in turn number 1. Yeah, I'm not sure.
So he does not have a meatball, but, I mean, a lot of repairs to do on that car. Well, the good news is he's not going to finish any worse than 14th here tonight.
Well, that takes care of Carswell in the conversation as well. So
Yes.
it is 5 cars
Yep.
left that we think will be competitive here.
5 cars for 5 laps, and who knows? Maybe even Matt Wagner, Octavio Rondoletto. If these 5 can all take each other out, maybe they can swoop in and take it. Who knows? It's the fastest game of Twister here at Pocono. You got to just take the spots where you see fit. Nicholas Isidro, James Watson, Zachary Flaum, Dakota DeMade, Ryan Dye are 5 of the survivors left on the battlefield here. 5 laps to go. One driver making his first start, 2 drivers looking for their first win, and 2 drivers looking for their third win. Dye did not get an optimal restart here. The top 3 are sort of breaking away here from Dakota DeMade. Watson with a peak. Nothing yet. Flaum with a big run. He rolls out of it, though. 4 to go. At the line this time. Here goes Watson.
The cat and mouse game continues here.
Maybe trying to set up that run. Or set up how to time it. Watson back out front. The last 2 races here, we've seen the leader out of turn 3 on the final lap be in the prime position. Is that going to change here tonight? As Isidro is back out front, now Watson not on the move yet. DeMade is pulled right back up to these top 3, though.
As is Ryan Dye.
All right.
So
It's on.
Those 5 cars we were talking about are all here now.
Isidro breaking the draft. 3 to go.
Oh, really tight there in the
man.
entry into turn 1.
Watson really having to crank the car in there. And that is upsetting those rear tires. Isidro trying to break the draft. Watson still taking a look to the outside here. Not a whole lot of room to operate with, but he is there. Isidro
he's
trying to
not clear.
squeeze for every drop he can get. The Illinois green is flying, 2 to go. Oh, they touch! How
Wow.
did they not crash?
They didn't crash, but James Watson is very slow right now. Ryan Dye was also able to get around Dakota DeMade. Wow. I don't know
Watson-
how James Watson kept going.
No, I don't either. Flaum and Isidro out front right now. Watson needing to put in a mega lap here to get back into the mix. And DeMade and Dye behind them likewise. Out of turn 3. One more lap to go. The snake. Here's Flaum to the outside. Flaum out of shape. DeMade underneath of Watson for third behind them. Backing up for a big run here, the final 2 turns. Can Flaum find any room? Big run! The door is open inside. Can Flaum make it work? Flaum is not clear. Isidro with a run to the outside. It's going to be a drag race down the start finish. Flaum is around. It's Isidro to the line to win it at Pocono. Oh my gosh. And Zachary Flaum across the line in 6th. James Watson rallies for 2nd, Dakota DeMade in 3rd. Ryan Dye finishes in 4th. And Matt Wagner, after all that, will round out the top 5 here tonight. But the heartbreak there for Zachary Flaum.
Wow. I mean, it's the Daredevil series. They're back in full force.
And the donut and the hit into the wall for Nicholas Isidro.
And that was it. That's all she wrote.
No. All right, well, the celebration is over. Nicholas, I'll go through the running finishing order now. Nicholas Isidro is going to claim his first career victory in the Daredevil Series. James Watson will take home a podium here tonight. Let me just go look. That is career podium number 5 for James Watson here tonight. And for Dakota DeMade, he will finish in 3rd here tonight. We'll hear from all 3 of these gentlemen momentarily. That is his 4th career podium. Ryan Dine, his first career start, is going to get a P4 finish here tonight. And likewise for Matt Wagner, his first start, top 5 finish. How about it for driver number 6? Zachary Flaum, heartbreak for him. He will finish in 6th here tonight. Nate Siefker running there at the end will finish in 7th. Seb Kinder, another debut here tonight. He will finish in 8th. And Octavio Rondoletto, the final driver, I think just running. He's the final driver running in P9. So I guess DNFs from here on out. Ben Carswell will get a top 10 here tonight. Paul Ellison then will finish in 11th. Cody Claiborne in 12th. Javier Mascara, the pole sitter, finishes back at 13th. Peter Donchak at 14th. Christopher Hill then at 15th. Drew White 16th. Hunter Engrave in 17th, Sean Bagley in 18th, Hayden Herman 19th, Andy Poliski at 20th, Nick Goyette 21st, Steve Roman at 22nd, Victor Aldrich in 23rd, Kirk Lane at 24th, Austin Lafferty 25th, and early problems for Tony Patty and Rhett Nichols down in 26th and 27th. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our 3rd place finisher here tonight. He is back in booth 200. It's been too long, but we've got the demigod, the cornfield kid, Dakota DeMade, back up top here with a podium interview. Welcome back.
Hello, boys.
Crazy race again. What are we thinking?
That's Daredevil, man. That's when men were men.
Oh my gosh.
That separates the men from the boys there. Ignore the part where I had to drop off the lead pack in the first couple laps because I was too scared, but
it takes a minute to get back into the fearless rebel spirit, I think. But didn't take you really that much longer after that first caution to get up and make some noise. And you had a pretty good look at pretty much everything here tonight. What are some of your big takeaways?
Yeah, I tried to do a little bit of strategy, trying to make it a one stop, and then kind of realized strategy was almost pointless at a place like this because it just turned into an attrition race, and I got lucky tonight. Somehow I'm one of the 5 that didn't get damaged there. So That's all I can say. I wish I had a shot for the win on the last lap there. Yeah, I just didn't fall my way this time. I just couldn't get the grip out of turn 3 for whatever reason. I was nailing it early in the race, but I couldn't get it late in the race. But it is what it is, man. If you survive one of these races, you should just be happy because it's always a lot of close calls here.
Matt, what do you got for everybody here?
I mean, good to hear from you, partner. Congratulations on the third place finish. When James Watson nearly goes around there right at the end of the race, what are you thinking? Did you get off the throttle to try to avoid it? What happened there?
Yeah, there was a couple of, I think there were 2 times. One, he got loose on his own. I had to check up because Zach was checking up, and then I was worried about Ryan not checking up. So escaped there. And then there was a little questionable incident there, I think, with 3 to go that Watson hit the wall there. And then I tried to get by him really bad, but he did really good defensively. So, but I'll take third. You know, that's a good night. The redemption arc begins, especially after last season.
Hell yeah, partner. Shout outs for you here.
Shout out to Sunset Arctic Games. That's my company. You can find my games on Steam, Voltic Pistol, Echo Blade, and not just Steam, coming soon, real soon.
Whoa.
We're going to be on consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Echo Blade, PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, Xbox Series, even the Switch. So that's really awesome. That should be coming sometime next month. Official announcement comes out soon, but keep an eye out for that. Follow me on Twitter at Sunset Arctic if anyone still uses Twitter. I don't know. It's kind of a wasteland now. So, and shout out to my friends. I know Alyssa's watching right now. So, yeah, thank you to everyone.
And if you want to get a head start, Echo Blade on Steam. Link is in the description of this race video. So appreciate everything that you do here for the series, and this is a good welcome back present for you here tonight. Congrats on the P3.
Yep, thank you guys.
We'll go ahead and bring up our second place finisher. After all that, it is still going to be James Watson in P2 here tonight. Back to, I guess, canonically back-to-back podiums. I guess it's 3 podiums in a row. We'll throw the recruitment race in there for as well. But crazy tight quarters action there at the end of the race. I know probably a little bit frustrated with how things went down, but talk me through the closing laps there.
Yeah, it was tough because I'm trying to figure out what to do to get by Isidro without, because like the outside line was kind of the more dominant line, and like I didn't want to try to make a move to the inside, not have it work, and then just have everyone freight train past. So trying to keep an eye on what was ahead of me and behind me was difficult. And yeah, it's a shame all the net code because it ruined some great racing. Because yeah, it would have been interesting to see what all me, Zach, and Isidro would have done off a 3 had the net code gods been kinder to us.
Well, outside of the end of the rest of it, you were pretty much in the thick of it all night long here.
Yeah, I was a little surprised, but also kind of because like I've had good runs here in the past 2 seasons. I just never had the luck. I always kept getting killed in incidents, and luck was on my side because I should have died like a solid 4 times. Like the first big melee, the second caution, like I was like staring right at the side pod of Wags, and then everyone cleared out. The second one, I saw Octavio spin down to the inside, go up right past. I just barely missed clipping Chris when him and Drew died. I almost looped it entering turn 1 a couple times. Like, yeah, all in all, I really can't be too irritated. This is a heck of a run. I'm happy.
Matt, what do you got for James here?
Huge congratulations on the P2. I gotta ask, what are the goals for the season here? Is the championship on your mind as we're heading here out of Pocono?
I mean, in some ways, it kind of is, because like I was near the front in season 1. I had a good shot of it going into the final race last season, so I think I can. It's gonna boil down to the ovals. Like, I will be the first to say that there's a lot of people that I will not be keeping up with on the road courses. So I need to maximize the ovals and hope I get the best results that I can from those. Hope for, you always hate to say this, but hope for a little yellow flag luck to some of the competitors, and then just keep as close as I'm gonna get on the road courses.
Hey, it's the Daredevil series. You could take as much yellow flag luck as here. Things going your way here tonight. Good way to start off the season here with a podium. Let's get some shout outs going for you.
Yes, sir. Got to thank everyone back at Team Watson Racing Subs. Use code WATSPIN39 for 10% off at checkout. Got to thank Chris Graham at the National Racing Network, as always. Got to do ZS Designs for doing my paint schemes, and Dizzy V Designs for doing most of the schemes for the team, including the one I had on tonight. It was the scheme that our fallen brother Matt Short was supposed to be running, but he unfortunately has other plans for this season, so I was running it as a bit of a tribute to him. I was able to get a good result. I gotta thank Martin Sports Sim Racing Apparel and SimSearch, your number one online sim racing market. It needs.
Oh, there you go. Best of luck next week at Lime Rock if I don't get to talk to you before then. But congrats. Go party hard on a P2 here tonight.
Thank you.
And now we'll bring up a first-time race winner here, and it is driver number 24, Nicholas Isidro. Welcome to Booth 200. It's been a long time, but boy, howdy, you earned it here tonight.
Pretty big fight to the finish, all the way from the last pit stops to the end.
Now you found your way up to the front, right around the middle, a bit before that. What did it take to get up front and stay up front here tonight?
Just a lot of conserving momentum through the corners and knowing when to shift and when not to shift.
And coming down to the end of it, you expect a lot of tight corner racing there, but was there contact? Was it more net code? I didn't really get to see a whole lot of replays there, but it wouldn't shock me if it was a lot of net code.
It was definitely a lot of net code towards the end there. I believe in both accidents.
And that's unfortunate. It was great racing up, but Matt, what do you got for a race winner here?
Huge congratulations, the first series win. Put one on the board for you. Tell me about the battle that you had with James. I mean, you two were just going back and forth, time after time. Had to be a fun battle there.
It's definitely what you want to see at these sort of open wheel super speedway races. Just a lot of back and forth and slingshotting with each other. Both guys giving each other enough room to get moves done. It's unfortunate with the net code because it was looking to be like a really good three-way battle towards the end, but I'm glad we managed to pull out a win there.
Now, I know you got some goals for this season, I'm sure, and your prospects are probably looking a little bit brighter here tonight after taking the first 1,000 points of the season. What's the goal?
Well, I would have said that the goal was to win a race, but I've already done that now. So I guess
check.
just do as good as I can in each race. I feel like I have a better chance on the ovals, but I can hold my head above water on the road courses.
Alrighty. Well, let's get some shout outs for you here tonight. Who do you want to say hi to? Thank you.
No one right now off the top of my head.
Alrighty. Well, we appreciate you coming out here tonight, coming back to the Daredevil series, and really happy to see you get to victory lane here tonight. It was a hell of a race. So, congratulations.
Great, thanks.
Alrighty, that is how we're going to wrap things up here tonight at Pocono. Matt Williamson, welcome back to the Daredevil series. Did this go the way you thought it would here tonight?
I mean, this was pretty much exactly what we expected. If we're being totally honest, I'm so ecstatic that it's back. I should not have. You shouldn't expect anything less, and we didn't get anything less. We got exactly what we wanted, and that was absolute chaos, mayhem, but also some just damn good racing that was there as well. So just great stuff.
Yeah, and I can't disagree with any of that. It was it's exactly what we wanted. It's exactly what we needed. And the finish to that race was as crazy as maybe not as crazy as it gets, but it was pretty crazy still, and a great way to usher back in the Daredevil series. Want to say hello and thank you to everybody that stopped by in the chat here tonight. Of course, Matthew Short was in there all night long. Apologies that I didn't get to some of your comments there for the podium interviews at the end of the race. Oz Kanar as well. McFreakin Duncan, Drew White was in the chat there after his accident. GT Porsche hanging out with us here tonight, as well as Max Holtzclaw, Terminal Velocity Racing, and the Rain Man Garrett Rainey as well. And Ender Nix, Mr. Kingslayer, and Caleb Bensi was in here earlier in the stream as well. So I want to say shout outs to all of those folks for stopping by. Shout out to you if you're watching here as well and didn't put in the chat. If you're wondering why you weren't able to comment, it's probably because you weren't subscribed to the channel. So if you want to make sure that you are here on time next week, be sure to hit subscribe, hit like on the stream while you're down there as well. Every little bit helps. We got some more racing action for you coming up next week. Of course, next Tuesday night, it is the return to the Venom Truck Series, and they are leaving the United States once again. They are heading to Twin Ring Motegi, where they will get ready to go for 115 laps in the All Your Race Car Are Belong to Us 180. And of course, next week, and I want to double check this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Next week is going to be, I think, my favorite road course on the calendar, Lime Rock Park. The classic layout without the chicanes. Good God Almighty, this is going to be so much fun next week. I cannot wait for Lime Rock Park in the Lotus 79. But outside of that, that's the action that we got for you next week. Appreciate everybody coming to hang out with us here tonight. That is all we've got for you for all the boys here at Turn 200. Thank you very much to everybody for coming to hang out with us here tonight. And thank you to the drivers of the new Daredevil Series, where we have crowned another first-time winner in Daredevil competition, and that is Nicholas Isidro. He is the winner at Pocono here tonight. Have a good night, everybody.